Hey, in today's practice, we're going to be covering the upward facing dog and really breaking it down step by step through a series of preparation postures that will help you sort of get more comfortable and familiar with the upward dog. Now, for the first position, I am going to be using a bolster to lie over to help open the chest. If you don't have a bolster, then you can certainly try either to use a couple of cushions or simply a folded blanket under the chest to just create that little bit of extra space there. Now you can come to sit with your hips. If you do have a bolster, you're sitting right up to it. If you're on something else, you can kind of experiment with what feels good. And then you're going to lie down onto your back. Feet can just be falling open. Arms can be with the palms facing up. And you can start to softly close your eyes. So just taking a few slow and steady breaths. Using the inhale to allow the breath to move from the belly up towards your chest. And then using the exhale to fully allow the air to exit the body. Nice thing here is you might feel that the front of your armpits and shoulders are nice and open. So just creating that little bit more space for the breath to move. And we'll stay in this position for 10 rounds of breath. So seeing if you can really allow your breaths to move in, swell out into the rib cage on the inhale. And then slowly breathing out on your exhale. Doing this a few more times. Staying here 3 more breaths. And then you can slowly start to bend the knees, roll over to one side and come up to sitting. So we'll move the bolster aside. And then we're going to come with our back flat on the ground here. Palms are going to rest into the mat, legs up to the ceiling. So we're going to be working here on gently moving the legs and opening the hips a little, but also really firming the abdomen, which is really key for our upward dog. So on the exhale, you can start to bend the knees into the chest and then pressing the feet away. Inhale, see if you can lift the legs slowly up, and then exhale, knees bent again, pressing the legs away. And inhale to lift up through the legs. We'll do this a few rounds. If the lower back, for whatever reason, feels uncomfortable, you could try this just with one leg at a time. So that just might make it a little bit easier on the leg. And then you could be trying it a few times with the other leg. So either doing this with one leg or with both legs. And then we're going to change the direction. So knees first come into the chest. Inhale, lift the legs up. Exhale to lower. Again, you could try this just with one leg. And then maybe with the other leg. If you're comfortable with both legs, doing a couple more with both legs. Or if you're wanting to just do one leg at a time, absolutely fine. Doing this one more round. And then we'll hug the knees gently into the chest, cross the legs, and inhale, rolling up to a seated position. Now we're going to kind of continue that work on the strength through the core by coming into a plank pose. If you're wanting more tips on the plank, do check out my other video where we're building up with different options for beginners of the plank pose. So fingers are going to be spreading, palms are going to be heavy here. You can draw one leg back, draw the other leg back, and then just finding your way here into the plank pose. Now for the upward dog, we're going to really need the arms to be super active like this. We're going to be in a slightly different position. And we're also going to want the belly to stay firm. So staying here for one more breath. And then exhale, slowly release. And from here, coming down onto your belly. So we're going to do a few baby cobras. So hands under the shoulders, drawing the elbows nice and close. Inhaling, reaching the chest a little forward, hands stay heavy. And exhale, lower. And then just doing this a few times. So we're keeping not just the belly, but also the lower part of the rib cage here on the ground. We're allowing the back, the lower part of the back to strengthen. And keeping feet really heavy on the ground. So this is also going to be important for our upward dog. Now, if you're quite comfortable here, you could play a little bit with lifting up a little bigger. So coming to a slightly bigger cobra here. It can feel tempting to lift the shoulders up to the ears and then the neck gets pretty tight. So see if you can keep the shoulders quite relaxed here as you do this. So thinking, inhaling, lengthen through the spine and exhale. So we're coming up with the whole rib cage now. But the front of the hips are still on the ground for the slightly bigger cobra. And the tops of the feet stay heavy. From here, we will transition now towards our upward dog. So hands again are heavy, elbows in. Inhale, lifting up through the cobra. And then for the upward dog, you're pressing into the hands and the feet. And you're seeing if you can just gently lift your hips a little up. So belly stays firm. Gaze can look forward or just a little bit up. And then exhale, slowly lowering back down. And we'll just take a rest in a reverse child's pose. So you can bend one knee, make a pillow with the hands, rest one cheek on the mat here. And take a couple of slow and steady breaths. Slowly releasing, bringing the leg back in. And we're going to repeat this kind of build up from the small cobra once more. So hopefully we're feeling a little warmer now. Hands under the shoulders again, elbows draw in, feet are heavy. Inhaling, lifting up a little bit. Lower rib cage again down on the mat. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Doing this a few times. And then as you start to do this a few times, you can be coming up a little bit higher. Really allowing the spine again to stay long. Shoulders to stay heavy. Maybe working on extending the arms a little more. See, there is quite some kind of strength and stability required in the arms here as we're lifting up. And then inhale, lifting up maybe to the upward dog. So you press into the hands, press into the feet. Hips lift a little. Again, firm through the belly. Lift up through the chest. And then exhaling, slowly coming all the way down, bend the opposite leg, reverse child's pose, opposite cheek on the mat. And then you can find your way all the way up to a seated position. And we'll just pause a few breaths with the eyes closed in our seated position. Just seeing if you can relax again around the shoulders. Slow down through your breath. And then from here, you can start to open the eyes again with a soft gaze. So thanks for joining me through this step-by-step practice of upward dog. I hope you were able to sort of see that build up we were doing from the baby cobra to the full cobra and then towards the upward dog and the similarities there. So if the full upward dog still feels a little uncomfortable, you'll find if you're practicing frequently the baby cobra and the full cobra, that will help you progress towards that upward dog. If you'd like to develop a little bit more shorter yoga practices at home, do check out my Yoga at Home guide. You can find the link for that in the description of the video. And this will give you tips and suggestions of how to integrate short yoga practices into your daily routine. Thanks. See you next time.